Hello, aloha, and welcome back to Haole, Hawaiian Snorkeling. This is our second episode, and again, you can see we're focusing on snorkeling in the Big Island. Today, specifically, we're going to be talking about snorkeling at one of my all-time favorite Big Island snorkeling spots, Two Step, which is located right near the City of Refuge, or Now Bay, which from the big overview map is here near the Captain Cook area, right in here. So you can see it's on the western side of the Big Island. So if you're staying in the Kailua Kona area, or you live in that area, or coming from that direction, it's not too terribly far of a drive from Waikoloa area, and some of the bigger hotel resorts in that area would be closer to an hour or so to drive there. And then of course from Hilo, it would be even a little bit longer, but it's definitely worth the effort to get there because it is one of the best, if not the best, snorkeling spot in Hawaii and on the Big Island. So we're going to go ahead and take a closer look here so we can see where it's at and how we're going. And as we zoom in, you can see that now pops up on the map in that area right there, and that's where we're going to be heading for our snorkeling trip today. So in order to get there, we're going to be traveling on Highway 11. It's kind of the belt highway, the one that goes around the island. So you're going to either be coming from one way or the other. Either way, you're coming from 11 and you turn off onto this little road, 160. And you got to be pay a little bit of attention. If you're using a GPS, it won't be too much of an issue, but it is a fairly windy road through here, and so the turnoff can sneak up on you a little bit, but not that you're going to be going too terribly fast with all the curves on the Hula road there. So we'll zoom in just a little bit closer here. You can see the road coming down, and this is a hilly area coming down through, and these are all mostly coffee farms, Kona coffee farms, and it kind of winds down this hill down here, and you'll see the sign for the City of Refuge, or the Hawaiian name here, and you'll take that turn off to go into Two Step. So let's get a little closer here. So you can see when you turn off, it's kind of easy to miss the turn to get into the Two Step snorkeling area, which is right here, this whole bay, and the road you want to turn in is right here. It's a little road. It's easy to pass by, and if you do, you're going to end up at the pay station for the National Historic Site here, City of Refuge. And so you can easily turn around and turn in here. And if you notice on the map here, the road does kind of loop around back up to 160, but it is a one-way road going from south to north. So you're definitely going to want to take your first turn here where the cursor is, and then take your right-hand turn in here, and then when you leave, you'll have to come out this way. And really, it is kind of just a single-lane road. It's pretty narrow, so don't make the mistake of coming up here and trying to turn down here. It's not going to be a good experience if you try that. So coming down the road here, pay close attention when you turn in. There are houses, and it almost looks like a little alleyway when you're turning in there. Go ahead and turn on in there and come in, and when you come in, you can park here kind of on this side of the road. You'll see cars kind of parked at a diagonally or straight in all along here, and I would always suggest, as with snorkeling anywhere, snorkeling is always better in the morning, as it is anyway, but come early if you want to try to park along the road here. If not, some people do park on this other kind of this right hand side of the road, but like I said, it's pretty narrow, and people do it, and I've done it, and it's been fine. But I would suggest, actually, if you can't get a good spot here, just park over in this dirt lot here, which is actually owned by one of the local churches, and they ask for just a small donation to be able to park there, which you could do all day if you wanted. You couldn't leave and come back, but you could be there for a good amount of time. And the donation's pretty small. It's like $3, $5 or something. And there's people here in this kind of hut that kind of man the parking lot. So it's not like a high security parking lot, but it's pretty safe. place to park your car. But as always, secure your valuables. Don't leave anything in plain sight. They're not going to take responsible for anything that gets stolen or lost. So yeah, then go ahead and there are, if you need to change or go to the bathroom, there's some porta potties here, kind of along this tree line here. But then go ahead and just kind of come out here, and you'll see people camped out all along, either under the trees. There's a few picnic tables, but mostly just kind of lay it out on a spot on the rock here, and just find yourself a good spot. And the best way to get into the water is to go by the namesake of the place, the Two Step. It's just a little it's more like a 3, but little couple steps shelf down that gets right down to the edge of the water, and you can kind of sit down on the shelf with your feet in the water, put your fins on, put your mask on, and kind of slip right into the water. If it is a little bit wavy, which you might have to just be a little cautious to time your entry to kind of when the waves are up, and then go out with the wave. It's easy to do. It's an easy place to get in and out. It's a very protected bay. So the snorkeling here is generally very good. I mean, as you can see just from this map, the wave crash foam is kind of hefty here along the rocks, and then over here around the point you'd see it again, but here it's pretty minimal, and it's a pretty good place to snorkel. And when you get in the water to snorkel, you can snorkel really anywhere kind of around the horseshoe area here, and the snorkeling's all generally really good. Lots of big healthy coral, varieties of fish, turtles. I've seen a lot of things, and one great bonus about this place, it's often a place where the spinner dolphins will come to kind of rest and just kind of cruise around in the bay while they rest. So don't harass them, but it's actually a great opportunity to be in the water with dolphins and let them kind of swim around you, and you can sort of get close. You do have to swim them out a little bit, sort of into the deeper area. It kind of drops off pretty quick once you get out here, and you can't really see the bottom, but they tend to dive down and surface and dive down and surface and just kind of go around in pods around here. And so it's just a great opportunity. Every time I've snorkeled there, dolphins necessarily haven't been there, but all but really 1 or 2 times the snorkeling has been excellent. And only one time I have not been able to get into the water because the surf was so big, and that was on a storm day, which, happens. It's the ocean. As always, take caution. It's the ocean. It's an at your own risk activity, but generally here in Two Step and Haole Bay, it's pretty safe. I do want to point out another thing here on the map because I made a mistake. The first time we came snorkeling here, it was pretty busy, and we didn't necessarily want to wait to get in on the Two Step rock because there can be a line, because it is the best entry point into the snorkeling area here. This is a boat ramp, and there is a little beach area, so if family or anybody comes that doesn't want to snorkel, or little kids, they can kind of play in this area. It's sort of brackish water, not the most super clear in here, and it's just a sandy area. But first time I came here, we decided to come out this way to snorkel because of the the beach entrance, the sandy entrance. It was easy to get in, get my fins on, and get going and kind of paddle out. This boat ramp isn't heavily used, but it's always in the back of your mind if you try to go this way that there is a possibility that a boat might be trying to come in. And all the times I've snorkeled there, which has been every time I've gone there, but to Hawaii, but I'm not there every day, so I don't know how often that ramp is used. I've only ever seen one boat use it, and it was a small little motorboat. But we went in this way, we tried to swim, and it's not too bad coming through here. But once we got here, it was a little tricky because there really only is this narrow little channel to get through, and it gets pretty shallow, so we did have to kind of climb over the wall to get over here and then out and around. And I actually kicked my heel on an urchin climbing over the wall, and so that was a lot of fun for the rest of the vacation, having that urchin needle broke off into my heel. So I don't suggest going this way. Definitely use the two steps to get into the water. It makes it much easier to get in and out. And always be cautious if you show up to go snorkeling and you see nobody here. That's probably a sign that the waves or the water is a little too rough to be snorkeling out in. Because generally this is, like I said, a very safe place, a very good place to go snorkeling. And one I definitely highly recommend. I mean, you can snorkel this area here. I generally see more turtles on this side, but I will say don't venture too far over this way. You're getting close to the City of Refuge Historical Park, which is a sacred place for Hawaiians, so don't disrespect that by going close into here. I don't think they would enjoy that too much. Plus, this area here is very shallow, and this you're getting kind of exposed, and you probably get into some bigger surf. So stay kind of in this area, but up here on the more north side, you can actually follow this along, and there's some great underwater topography that you're going to see when you're snorkeling here. It's actually pretty great. I mean, it gets a little deeper as you go along, but there's kind of the walls and lots of coral and lots of fish, and you can kind of go along for a while. But as always, use caution and pay attention to where you're going, what you're doing. It would be kind of difficult to get kind of lost or confused here, but as with any activity, if you're really enjoying it, you're not really paying attention to how far you've gone or how long you've been in the water, and you can really get tired quicker than you think. So kind of pay attention to how far you've gone and how long you've gone, and once you start getting out here, you're going to start noticing some bigger swell anyway, and you'll probably want to turn around. You can swim over the middle, but like I said, unless the dolphins are there, there's not really much to see. And it can be a little eerie swimming over that deep water and not knowing what's under you, but it's still great. You can come right back, and it's great right in here. So let's get into the water, and hopefully you'll see how great it is just from some of the pictures and video that I'll be able to provide, and hopefully you enjoy it, and I'll try to add some tips if I can. But as always, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy, and mahalo. hope you've enjoyed joining us at Haole, Hawaiian Snorkeling, and hope you enjoyed the two-step episode. Give us a like, and hope you have a great time snorkeling in the water, and as always, be safe. Mahalo.